On February 27, 2026, Major General William McCasland vanished from a remote Air Force base in Utah. He left his home carrying nothing. His phone, his wallet, and his vehicle were all left behind. He walked out of his residence and effectively evaporated. 8 days before the disappearance, the White House issued a direct order for the full disclosure of all classified UFO files. As the primary gatekeeper for the military's most restricted black programs, McCasland faced an immediate crisis when the executive branch ordered full transparency. The mandate placed his specific operations under a level of scrutiny they were never designed to withstand. McCasland managed a portfolio of programs so deeply classified that they do not appear on any official Pentagon ledger. These unacknowledged special access programs operate in a disconnected node, separated from the standard military command hierarchy. They are shielded from the traditional oversight that governs the rest of the defense network. These programs were tasked with securing high-fidelity data of fast-moving aerial anomalies, evidence captured on classified military sensors that remains hidden from public view. McCasland's abandonment of his duties suggests a conflict between his professional mandate and the White House order. By disappearing, the officer responsible for these secrets effectively removed himself from the chain of command. While official government statements historically focused on weather balloons and optical illusions, internal records show a parallel effort to engineer a systemic data wipe. The structure of this system was uncovered by a whistleblower using the name Matthew Brown. He discovered a buried simulation file that mapped out a mechanism for automated information control. The file identified a project titled Immaculate Constellation, a black-budget artificial intelligence system designed by the Pentagon. This AI intercepts raw data feeds from global military satellites and sensors. It is designed to process and isolate specific signatures before human analysts ever have the opportunity to review the footage. Once a UAP signature is identified, the software quarantines the data. It effectively buries the specific signal inside vast quantities of background noise. This algorithmic filter changes the nature of the cover-up. The government no longer needs to actively manage public deception if software is programmed to remove the evidence before it ever enters the historical record. This digital erasure obscures physical craft operating in restricted airspace. In January 2026, a researcher using thermal cameras recorded a specific anomaly near the military's most secure testing grounds. The sighting occurred directly above Area 51. The thermal readout showed a massive, silent triangular aircraft. It performed a 90-degree turn at a velocity that would be physically impossible for any known human jet. This design matches an object witnessed over Wichita, Kansas more than a decade earlier. Despite the time gap, the craft's flight characteristics and geometric profile remain identical. The lack of apparent technological evolution over 12 years suggests this is a mature, stable technology. If it belongs to a private contractor, the level of secrecy is a legal violation. If it is foreign, it represents a total compromise of American airspace. The ultimate control over these craft does not rest with the Pentagon or the traditional military. The hardware is held by private defense contractors, specifically entities like Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman. These corporations utilize a financial loophole known as IRAD, Internal Research and Development Funds, to shield their work from government eyes. This flowchart shows how public tax dollars are converted into private research capital. Once these funds are classified as internal corporate R&D, the resulting projects are legally shielded from congressional oversight. Lawmakers cannot regulate these programs because, under current financial laws, the private sector has ensured the government doesn't even have a record of their existence. Pilot encounters with these craft are well documented. During operations involving the USS Roosevelt, Top Gun pilots observed objects rotating against 40-knot headwinds and accelerating with no visible means of propulsion. More recently, 2023 military infrared footage from Romania and Greece showed objects executing maneuvers that would be lethal to a human pilot. In response to these reports, the Pentagon released 162 heavily redacted files online, a data dump containing almost no actionable information. When the Defense Secretary stated that the public can decide for themselves It served as an admission that official transparency efforts are often used to complicate the truth rather than reveal it. These observations appear in the records of the earliest orbital missions. Transcripts from Gemini 7 describe a crew tracking an unidentified bogey that did not match any known satellite or debris. During Apollo 17, astronauts documented a three-dot triangle formation moving across the lunar sky, a direct historical link to the triangular craft seen over modern cities. The first astronauts were placed in direct proximity to a phenomenon that they were effectively prohibited from discussing publicly. This is the scale of the system: the disappearing generals, corporate-owned craft in civilian airspace, and automated algorithms sanitizing history. The evidence has moved the discussion past the existence of these objects. The current crisis is whether a democratic society can function when its own institutions prioritize the secret over the citizens they serve. The files are public. Access the data and see it for yourself before the digital quarantine protocol scrubs it from the record.